making my favorite strawberry poke cake. I've placed strawberries and blueberries on here to resemble a flag. It makes a wonderful presentation at your 4th of July get-together. We start out with a white cake mix and prepare it just like the package directions. You're going to bake it in a 9 by 13 pan. I've actually lined my pan with parchment and I greased it with some butter. You can either use 4 egg whites or 3 whole eggs to mix this cake. I prefer to use the egg whites because that keeps the cake a much brighter and whiter color. Either way is fine. Just know that when you use the whole egg, the yolk does give it a little bit of coloring. White cake mix, 1 cup of water. If you don't have an electric mixer, you can mix this by hand with a whisk. Stir it till it's well mixed and let that sit for about 5 minutes. What that's going to do is allow the cake mix to soak up some of that moisture. It's going to be a lot easier when we add our eggs and then stir for 2 minutes. So we're going to do this by hand today because I don't want to have to clean the mixer. So after you let this sit for a few minutes, go ahead and add your eggs and use your whisk and beat this batter. Beat the batter. Let's pour this into our prepared pan and get this in the oven. Tap this a couple times. Tapping it a couple times, it just gets the air bubbles to come to the top. In the 350-degree oven this goes for 28 to 30 minutes. I always suggest turning your cake halfway through. We'll be back to make our poke cake. Our cake has been out of the oven for about 10 minutes. And we're gonna let it cool in the pan for 20 minutes. So now that it's been cool for about 10 minutes, we're gonna go ahead and prepare strawberry gelatin. You need the 4.5 ounce serving of the strawberry gelatin. You want 1 cup of boiling water and add 1/2 cup of cold water. We want to chill this a little. And now the fun begins. So now, of course, we're going to poke holes in our cake. Not all the way to the bottom. Just use any pattern you like. So you want to leave your cake in the pan. And after we pour our gelatin, it's going to go in the refrigerator for at least 3 hours to cool and let this gelatin set up in there. So I like to go ahead and put my Jell-O back in the measuring cup that I heated my water. Just slowly pour it so it starts going into the holes that the tines of the fork made. And this is why I leave it in the pan. This just makes the cake so beautiful when you slice into it. And of course it adds a lot of flavor. And it keeps the cake nice and moist. In the refrigerator, our strawberry poke cake goes for at least 3 hours. Now that our cake has been refrigerated, we're going to slather on some non-dairy whipped topping and we're going to garnish it with strawberries and blueberries. I have a couple of cups of strawberry slices and 1/2 cup of blueberries.